Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today and hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Thursday, so it's story day. It's one of my favorites. I heard it from Sri Ramakrishna. I've heard Rumi tell it. Many cultures have a similar idea. Four blind men went to see an elephant. They'd never they've heard about it, but they never saw it because they couldn't see. They were blind. One touched the leg and said, "Wow, elephant's like a pillar." One touched the side of the body and said, "Wow, it's like a wall." One touched the tusk and said, "Wow, it's like a spear." One touched the tail and said, "Oh, it's like a snake." And one touched the ear and said, "It's like a winnowing basket." And they started to argue about who understood what the elephant was. And then a passerby came by and says, "Listen, you all didn't touch the elephant. You only touched the part. That's why you thought it was like a pillar. That's why you thought it was like a wall or a tusk or a winnowing basket or a snake. You all had a piece of it, but none of you understood the whole thing." In the same manner, people who argue about spirit or God, they only see one aspect of the deity, and therefore, in another way, they're kind of blind. It makes you stop and think how we all think we understand and see truly, but we're like blind men. We only touch a part and think we understand the whole. All right, great thing to reflect on, don't you think? All right, for my people who are doing the journal writing or elevating the conversation, if you don't write this down, share it with other people or share it with me. Who gives you emotional support? Who gives you emotional support? There's a lot of different ways that people can support us, but sometimes our feeling nature just needs to rest with certain people. They nourish us just by their presence. They don't even have to say anything, or often they do, but it gives us emotional support. So who does that for you? You let me know. I'll tell you who does that for me in my life if you share with me. Now, my teacher is always reminding us that the body, is it a playground or is it a prison? That yoga is the continual application of certain principles to the benefit of human evolution. We're designed for continual challenge. Status quo in a certain way leads us to stagnation. And since the ultimate truth is inconceivable to normal consciousness, yoga is the process where you learn to bring a majestic crescendo by the absolute abandonment of your personal self to the universal non-denominational spirit. The crescendo is how you end your life. So, with that in mind, don't have any paranoia about impressing the guru or hiding from the guru. That's what makes your neurosis transparent. See that desire to have somebody acknowledge you, right? Being an addict to attention, right? But when you realize how crazy you are for somebody else to punch your ticket, that realization, you see through that thought. It's like a mirror that's very discomforting and irritating. And that person's style, the guru's style, crushes you. But you got to admire it because there's no con job in it. There's no conmanship. The guru doesn't want anything from you. Or they could say maybe they desire to be free from them. So, as the keeper of the old stories, let me remind you that we've all had disappointing experiences, and the bitterness from that disappointment can become calcified, tighten you up, make you rigid. So, I implore you, find the verve, find the life, find the passion, find the things that make you soar. That will prevent any of the bitterness from becoming calcified, dry, and brittle in your life. The world is going to constantly test you to see if you will continue to give your gifts in the face of refusals of all kinds. But just remember, in any relationship, bring your strength forward. Yes, we all have needs, but your neediness undermines the value of the relationship. Like we say, don't look for the right person, be the right person. And of course, there's always some human insecurity, but it'll be different to just acknowledge that you're a human being and you have needs is different than just being a needy and maybe even a whiny little child that didn't get what you want. Now, my last statement today from my rabbi has to do with when you contemplate your own mortality, what would you grieve if you failed to transmit it to other people? What would you want to pass on to let everybody know? And this is part of how you create your own personal alchemy that transforms what seems to be the decline of your life as you get older, and how do you convert that despair or emptiness into something that's closer to faith, good humor, and the selflessness of how we treat each other in terms of relating to other human beings with compassion and service in mind. And then take the vow to be a listening ear to anybody who's asking for counsel, seeking counsel. All right, now, finally, I always say something from the affirmation masters. If it's true that we demonstrate in accordance with our convictions, everything will be all right if you put your thinking right. Until you put your thinking right, everything can't be right. And what are we supposed to be thinking according to the affirmation masters? See spirit where the trouble seems to be. That's the golden key. And if you do that, you've just uncovered the tip of the iceberg. And as we all know, what you see on the surface of the tip of the iceberg is small compared to what's underneath the surface, which is the treasure house, the wealth of abundance, clarity, joy, peace, and love that's inside every person waiting to be tapped. But you got to make the effort. Like we say, the guru can cook for you, but can't eat for you. Have a great day.